Writers, we have a very important lesson today. This lesson focuses on action, description, and dialogue in a story, and how important it is to mix them together and have a healthy mix. So, what is action? Action is what is happening in the story, what the characters are doing. I saw a bully take a basketball away from Danny. That's action. Description is what's happening around the characters, describing with the five senses. So, that's like a champ. And dialogue is when the characters are talking with one another. And you'll notice the quotation marks at the beginning and end of each sentence of dialogue. So we've got action in red, description in green, and blue in dialogue. We're going to have some bad lessons today, then we're going to learn from these lessons. We're going to see a couple examples of too much of something and what that can do to your story. So here we go. I saw a bully take a basketball away from Danny. Hey, give him his ball back. Who's going to make me? You, he said. Yeah, I bet I can beat you in a one-on-one. First player to 3 points wins. If I win, you give us the ball back. If you win, you keep it. Deal, but you're going to regret it. My ball. Yes, 1-0. Oh man, I missed. Nice try. My ball. Yes, 2-0. Oh yeah, I nailed it. 2-1, he said. I hit a three-pointer. Money! I gave the ball to Danny. Thanks. No problem, I said, walking away like a champ. So as you can see, we are really dialogue heavy. Too much dialogue, not enough action, explaining actually what's happening and who's doing the shooting, who's doing the movements in the game, or description. We don't really know what's happening around the characters. Danny was about to shoot when a boy about twice his size, with muscles bulging on his arms, stepped in front of him. The boy was wearing a green t-shirt, the kind with the shoulders cut out. His smile was wide and his white teeth shined in the sun. Hey, give him his ball back, I said, stepping off the green grass onto the blacktop. My heart was beating, my legs were sweating. I was kind of hungry, but that didn't matter just then. There were a bunch of kids watching. One of them was only 5 years old. I wondered how he felt about this. Maybe they would tell their parents. No, they weren't moving at all. They just stood there watching us. Who's going to make me? You? He said. Everybody looked at me. They were waiting for what I was going to do. I looked back at the bully and realized that he was waiting for me too. The air was silent. A squirrel watched from a nearby tree. So as you can see, we've got we've got issues with our description here. We've got way too much description, and it's slowing the story down. Number one. Number two, it's sharing things that we don't really need to know. Do we need to know that the boy was wearing a green shirt? Do we need to know that a squirrel was watching from a nearby tree? So if you're going to do description, which you should in your story, make sure that the description adds to building the character and building the action, because they should all work together. Here's an example of when action, dialogue, and description work together. Danny was about to shoot when a boy about twice his size, with muscles bulging on his arms, stepped right in front of him and snatched the ball out of his hands. I'll take that, he said. This was the moment I was waiting for. I took a deep breath and yelled, Give him his ball back. The boy turned around and snarled, Who's going to make me? You? Everyone watched as I stepped forward. Yes, me. 1-on-1, you and me. First player to 3 points wins. And then, he asked suspiciously, If I win, you give us the ball back. If you win, you keep it, I said. A smile crept onto the bully's face, and he tossed me the ball. Deal, but you're going to regret it. So as you can see here, this story isn't as fast as the first one with all that dialogue, and it wasn't as slow as the second one with all that description. But it has a healthy mix, and it keeps the reader in the game. It keeps the reader in the story, knowing what's happening with the characters, what they're doing, what they're saying, and it's interesting. So writers, always remember when you're writing your stories to have a healthy mix of action, description, and dialogue. Your reader will thank you.